and welcome to mattyabar versus HR Larry, the last match in the round of one losers bracket, double eliminations, in the Tetris Tournament Online 3, sponsored by Blue Planet Software and Tetris Online Incorporated. This should be an interesting matchup here today. So it looks like there's going to be no warm-ups. The scoreboard is accurate. Both of these players have been in the Tetris community for quite some time, and although mattyabar has not actually been in the past TTO, he has been very active in tournaments in the Japanese Tetris community. So he just took the first game. Microblitz, did you catch what happened there?
All I saw was the red bar go up on Larry's side, and then he topped out.
I think that watching Larry's game last time versus QMK, his biggest hindrance was his miss drops that usually happen when a player has trouble focusing. So if he's able to get rid of that, then we should be seeing a lot more even play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Larry really needs to be careful in this match because mattyabar is very good at down stacking and timing. So like we saw when he was facing QMK, we saw that he was doing a lot of back-to-backs and a lot of T-spin setups. I don't think that's going to work against mattyabar unless he really sends over a lot of them.
Yeah, mattyabar, this is a guy who really takes his Tetris seriously. If you've ever gone to mattyabar's profile page, there's one thing that he's quoted as saying, and that is, "Tetris is my life." So this is not a guy who's like a casual Tetris player here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's actually logged in like 32K games on Tetris Arena, and that's insane.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's see here. There's that one guy who like has 80,000. Not Larry. What's his name? Like, oh, he's another guy, but he exists. Yep. But mattyabar is probably the most pro player who has logged so many games. Larry,
yeah,
reverting
one of them.
to his, reverting to his 4-wide, but canceling because mattyabar just sent way too much garbage too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They're just spiking each other way at the top. So you just got out of a game where there was a lot of spiking way near the top. What were you doing when you were in that situation? What were you thinking, Microblitz?
Well, like when you're playing a player like Kenny, you really need to be mindful of yours and his field. You have to make sure that you keep your field clean, and you also have to make sure that when the opportunity presents itself, then you're ready to spike him out. It's the same thing with mattyabar. Whenever he makes a mistake, then you really got to capitalize on it, just like with any other player. He's a really great down stacker, like I said before, so it's going to take a lot for Larry to really muster up a win here.
In that last game, we saw mattyabar make a pretty bad misdrop near the top of his matrix, and Larry had a brief opportunity to capitalize that, but I think he used it to fill in some pieces or make a setup of his own. And not that that's his fault or anything, but even the most fleeting moment is really crucial if you want to be winning against mattyabar here.
Yeah, these games are actually ending pretty quickly. If you notice, Larry's strategy so far looks like he's trying to do more combos, especially 4-wides. I think he knows that in terms of APM and speed, he's a little lacking in that category in relation to mattyabar, who is superior against him in both respects. And because of that, he's trying to even out the playing field by 4-widing more.
Now, mattyabar is the kind of player who knows what he wants to set up before he sees his opponent's field. He's not someone who's going to look at his opponent's field and decide what he wants to do to adjust. So I think that if Larry really wanted to, he probably could just wait until mattyabar has sent him some lines, and then he'd have some clean garbage to counter with. But but he's just not doing that.
Yeah, I think the problem is Matty is just way too fast. at the moment, it looks like Larry's getting a little overwhelmed with all the garbage that's being sent to him. I mean, just look at all the matches so far. We've had a couple, and most of them have only been around 20 seconds, and the longest being only 53, I think.
I think that if there's a significant amount of lag in these games, then that'll really affect one of the players because even if you're not actually receiving any lines because the game has not started for you yet, oh, bad mess drop on Larry's side. Even if you don't do that, you'll still have so much less time to prepare for your opponent's miss drop. Larry was talking about lag in that last game, so that might be impacting him a bit.
Looks like he's getting a little outplayed though at the moment. Once again, I want to draw on it is the beginning of the match, and as always in a tournament setting, players naturally get a little nervous, or at the very least, your hands shake a little bit because of the intensity of the matches. At the moment, I think Larry, he really needs to calm down and. Oh, it looks like he's now going for a 4-wide this time. He's going for a... What kind of spin was that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, C-spin, triple-double, whatever you want to call it. That's a setup that he's really comfortable with. So I think that he might be getting back in his game. Maybe at the very beginning he was thinking, I need to do something special to get mattyabar. But if you're not playing comfortably, then what's it even worth?
Yeah, I've noticed that one of his biggest openers is probably the C-spin into an Imperial cross. And I think that's a really good plan, but he really needs to be careful about how he uses it against Matty, because if you're not using it correctly, he's just going to send it right back to you.
I think we saw that because right now, Larry sent 32 lines, and if Matty had blocked them, then Larry's line count would be so much lower. Like in those last games, you saw Larry sending four lines, 6 lines.
Looks like there was a lot of messy garbage over on Larry's side, but he was able to clear it through, and he actually sent mattyabar to the top.
He was going for the perfect clear setup, and he misdropped the eyepiece, or else he would have sent. No.
He misdropped the eyepiece there, and that disrupted his down stack.
Those eye misdrops are just brutal.
One of the things I've learned about my experience with Tetris Arena is that whenever you're placing the pieces, sometimes there's a little bit of lag, especially with the eyepiece. So even when you're using finesse, you really got to be careful of how you're placing it, because it can shift over a couple places, and it can be a little disorienting if you misdrop that piece in particular.
The eyepiece in particular, you think has more lag than the rest?
I believe so, yeah.
That's really interesting.
Maybe not laggier than the other pieces, but it is the piece that most players are more prone to misdrop, because there are the most number of finesses for the eyepiece, and if you're not using the finesses correctly, you can misdrop it pretty easily, because when it's going, is it horizontally or vertically? Well, when it's standing up straight, then there are a lot of different options where you can put it in. You got to be really careful about that when you're placing it.
That's a good point. Larry was able to save his 4-wide right there after running into a misdrop halfway down. If he just gets his eyepiece, he does. Right before this last game.
Made a misdrop with that blue piece there. He was able to he was able to fix it and go for the down stack. Ooh. I think it would have been better for Larry to skim at the top of the field right there, because if he saw on Maddie's field, he was actually at the bottom of his field, and he had a lot of potential to spike Larry. And I think just in general, if you're at the top of your matrix, then it's probably better just to skim instead of sending over Tetrises and T-spins. Especially when they're at the bottom of the field, they can just send it right back.
mattyabar makes a really nice Kadan into a 6-3. And Larry, what is that guy doing? Look at that. It's like a triple-double. Then he's like, oh, no, he is totally going to do something with that. Yeah, look at that. He's making a T-spin single. No, it's just too elaborate. He has this master plan, and then it goes up in flames. He won a game like 2 games ago, and that was when mattyabar was trying to set up a really high 2-wide with a T-spin double at the bottom. But yeah. I feel like these games are just going to be really unpredictable unless these players are trying to be strategic instead of trying to win it all in one stroke.
Yeah, I think Larry knows that he probably, most likely he can't beat Matty in the tactical game. So what he's trying to do is just out APM him. At the moment, though, it looks like it's Larry who's unable to keep up with mattyabar's APM. At the moment, I'm noticing that Larry has been doing a lot of 4-wides and a lot of his usual intricate spins. I think the 4-wides are probably his best bet because he has been pretty consistent with them. And not only that, but intricate setups like the kind of things that he does, like the C-spin, there's a lot of risk and reward benefits and whatnot in terms of those kind of things, because in my opinion, I think as opposed to like a T-spin double into a small combo, I think the risks and benefits compared to a C-spin is much better on the T-spin double side because it leaves you more options in case you misdrop or in case you don't have the proper bag or in case you need a quick cancel. And just look at that APM, mattyabar with 109 lines sent in 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Watching Larry play reminds me a lot of another player who's also pretty good on King of Stackers, known as Blitz, B-L-I-T-Z. And I think he was eliminated by Chris W. But in his game, he was making these really beautiful, intricate setups, these very nice misdrop handling placements. But then when it comes down to it, he just didn't have the APM of Chris W. And that was really the deciding factor, even though every single move that he was making was just really strategic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about players being outclassed by other players, we usually mean that their downstacking is better, their timing is better, and their APM is better. Those are probably the 3 biggest things. And then there's the skills on the side that really improve your game as well, like how well can you see T-spins, or how versatile are you, and how creative can you get and adaptive during gameplay. On this particular occasion, I think mattyabar's got Larry beat in most of those categories. Maybe Larry's T-spin knowledge is much better than Matty's, but at the moment, I think a lot of those factors are won over by mattyabar.
We're seeing mattyabar slow way down to play Larry right now. It really surprises me, and it looks like it's working out for him because he's still outsending Larry. I think he's realized that he is able to slow down a bit and still outsend, and so that makes his wins a lot more consistent. But as you say, there's just a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah, I think players who are able to play slower against other players, typically, it may not be that the APM is not as high. Like Larry is sending over a decent amount of garbage, but at the same time, we have to look at other factors too. In this case, I think the the main factor is timing. I think Mattyabar's timing is much better than Larry's, and that's really helping him here. It allows him to have a little bit more time when he's playing to think through his options, and that's a really good benefit to have. It makes so that you're in less of a panic and in less of a rush.
Now we're seeing Larry. This is the first game this match that the 4-wide has really worked out for him, giving him a victory. So let's see if he sticks with it. Oh, he totally does. Look at that. Oh no, he's going for the perfect play. He can never resist the perfect play.
I don't think many players can unless you have the patience for it. Oh, looks like there was a little bit of backlash on Larry there for that perfect clear. It gave Mattyabar way too much clean garbage to work with. And look at that big spike by Mattyabar, and I think it's game point now, or match point.
Is it already match point?
I think so. It has been a pretty quick game, hasn't it? It's 14-2. I think Larry's goal was to get 3 points. So let's see if he can get this.
Yeah. Okay, going for the 4-wide again, and he's already stacking up pretty high.
Oh. Oh, he's got to work quickly, though, because Mattyabar is sending him a lot of garbage. He had to cut his combo short. Looks like it's back to ground zero.
There was another game earlier where he did successfully execute his combo, but he just did not do it quickly enough. And that makes all the difference when you're playing against Mattyabar.
Yeah, he's doing a good job down stacking, though. If you see, he's linking a lot of his down stacks into combos, and that sends a lot more messy garbage over to Matty. At the same time, it also sends more lines. And he actually gets the 3rd point. Congratulations, Larry.
Yeah!
Okay, so the score is 14-3 right now.
Mattyabar had a whole lot of missed drops on his side. Let's see if he's more serious now.
I think when you have such a big lead on your, opponent, it's there's a certain reassurance in that you know that because there's such a big lead that you're going to win, and like right there, I guess Matty just I guess he was done playing.